Primerica isn't all work and no play. Okay. So the reason that you're working at getting financially independent is to do fun life experiences. Okay. And so that was one of the goals that Mary and I had early on, Aaron, is that we really wanted to have some great life experiences. And we built great friendships all over the country. And, once you're a multimillionaire, then, you have life differently. And so our friends who were multimillionaires before us, Mark and Sue Younger, at one time they had a guy that was kind of their butler, and he didn't clean nothing and he didn't hang around the house and stuff, but he just made their life easy. And when they wanted to go to events, he would secure hotels, tickets, all that kind of stuff, and then just say, okay, wire me this much money. And that's what he would do for them. And they had other excursions, but I got a phone call from that butler, Wayne. Okay. And I got a phone call from that guy one day, and he says, hey, how you doing? This is so-and-so. I work with Mark and Sue Younger. I said, oh, how are you? And he said, hey, listen, I want something to run past you. So, hey, you guys are financially independent, right? And I said, well, yeah. And he said, hey, a group of us are getting together. We're going to go to the Kentucky Derby. And here's how it works. Okay. I kind of do all the setup. I do all the everything. All you have to do is get your own airline tickets into Louisville, and you get in there, and then we take everything from there. And I said, like, what do you mean? He says, well, the hotel, your food, your tickets. And by the way, we had box seats on the finish line.
There you go.
And as I looked up, there's Queen Elizabeth, okay, up there in a suite, okay. I've got an actual picture of that. And so we had our derby hats on, right? And of course, did I have a derby hat? No, but there's derby hat for sale there. And they not only size you up, Michael, they put a flower thing on the side, a feather thing on the side, right? A flower thing for ladies, and it was amazing. But here's how he says, here's what I need you to do. I need you to wire me $10,000 and I'll take care of everything. And I said, okay, that sounds like a blast. Now, other people getting together for the weekend probably doesn't quite sound like that, does it?
Amen.
But,
right.
But when you're financially free, golly, life's a joy, and it's worth fighting for, even if it's a small version of that, right?
Right.
And so, but just being able to do Mark and Sue Younger, Shane Perry, Cheryl Bartlett, guys, 2 or 3 others I can't think of right now, but man, we had great pictures in front of the spheres and all that stuff. And so next year, by the way, is the 150th anniversary of the running of the Kentucky Derby. And we're making some special arrangements to make sure that we have a chance to do that. They've remodeled a lot there. It's really, really great. So what's really cool is as we were flying our Southwest Air flight just into the Kentucky Derby, they let us know that there's still another level for us to get thinking bigger, Michael. And that is that he says, if you look to your right, you'll notice the row of private jets.
Oh,
and all these, from sheiks from Iran. And I mean, they're all amazing. These jets, private jets, were unbelievable. And but anyway, just let you know that, hey, today we do have ownership in a club, and we're actually having a derby party tonight. And so I got my hat ready, and you ought to see my outfit. And fact is, if you want to see my outfit, stay tuned to my social media. There'll be some pictures there that you can watch. Okay. So
awesome. That's so awesome.
It's time for the Kentucky Derby.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Come on, us flatlanders in the Midwest, we don't think of that stuff, do we? Okay,
No.
and it's fun to know that there's other things to do in life but hunt and fish, right? So there you go.
Right.
let's dive in. If you're ready, here we go. And so today we want to talk about the art of communication. How many people want to get better at the art of communication, right?
Two-handers.
You can never, that's something you can sure have some fun with, okay? Is you can always get better at your church, your school, your family. Communicating better is just part of getting great, becoming great. And you got to work on that, right? And so it's so important. And but it's and the kind of the theme of today, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, but it's also you think you come across one way and yet you really don't. Okay. How many people had maybe a brand new person, okay, that got so excited about Primerica, and then the first thing they want to do to their warm market is just regurgitate everything they can tell them about everything. Anybody like that, right? Mm-hmm. And then so they're going all these, it runs people off instead of, attracting them, right?
Right.
So you think you maybe come across one way, but not so much. As great as people skill as I've developed over the years, Mary's always says, Jim, I'm not sure you came across right there. So it's something we can always get better at, right? And you got to be open to a new way of thinking and coming across, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if you don't say it right, so there's so many misconceptions of what Primerica is, okay? And so it's kind of similar in our Christian faith. It's one of those things where people might think that all Christians are this, and they're probably not, right? And so it's different. You got to come across in the right way. Something I taught on this week was the art of telling your story. And Teresa, I see you on the screen there. And so Teresa, I asked him, I said, guys, write out your story. Why did you come here? If you just start telling about Primerica, they're just, what does that mean? But if Richard Cravens could speak from his heart, what his heart says speaks so loud, they don't care about what this is.
Amen.
That's right.
You got to come across with your heart and what you, because that's attractive. They say, man, I can see you. Nothing's worse than them trying to tell you that nothing's worse than them seeing in you that you're just trying to make a sale, or you're just trying to get them in something, or you're so scared they're thinking that there's something really wrong with it. And so you don't have any belief coming across. They buy your belief. So it's the belief that people want to buy, right? So it's so important that the art of telling your story has emotion tied to it, right?
Right.
And when you have emotion and you tell a story, you want that story to come across so loud that's the only thing they hear. So let me share with you, some quick slides here that we can kind of make some sense. You see that okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so what do they hear you say, Ethan? So on this side, you can see it's a financial company, financial plan, sales. Is that what they hear you say? Or your little innuendos along the way, when whatever presentation Wayne teams give, Aaron team, doesn't matter. But what do they hear you say? Mm-hmm. Do they hear you say financial company, financial plan, sales, or a financial services distribution system? Nothing's better than telling a story. And so I'm going to tell you a quick story here about the bottom two things here. And if you'll just listen to me before you read ahead, we'll go from there, okay? So Bill Arinder one time told me, he said, not in the house he lives in now, but the house he sold to buy this new one that he lives in today. And he said, out in front, or on the deck when people when they first walked in on the not the deck, the island, the kitchen island, okay, was this sign right here: 20 by 40 master bedroom, 20 by 25 deck, inlaid, blah, 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 50,000, blah, 5 acres with a pond. Okay.
Mhm.
Now he said, I hate that. That doesn't describe anything about my home I've lived in for 10 years. So he took that away and he put this: here is the place we reared our kids. We created great family memories that will never fade. If total family lifestyle is more important than the paint color or the placement of a wall, then our home becomes yours.
Wow.
That's
You
good.
felt it, right? Right.
So Bill Arender, this is word for word of what it really was. Now, can you see the difference, folks? It's not kind of different. It's like, whoa, can we use that to understand that when you're talking about something, it doesn't matter whether they're interested or not, but you need to let that heart shine and just bolt it out and be as strong as you can be about your confidence about where you're going and what we believe in and what we stand for.
Right.
So recruiting is like selling. Your success will be determined by the quality of the questions you ask. You might have just heard this. You might have heard it 100 times, but we can't hear it too much. The secret to your success is always tied to the quality of the questions you ask. So when you ask people, you want to ask them emotional questions, not factual questions, right?
Right.
So let me give you another an angle at how you come across. So why do people change from one job to another? Aaron, you want to take a shot at that?
They're looking for a better quality of life, or how they felt. They're looking for a better feeling.
Wayne, what would you say?
Well, I think it's sometimes the situation they're in is not a good one. It could, whether it be financially or maybe the politics, there could be a lot of different reasons for that change. Just not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And there could be a lot of logical reasons, but let's step back and see the other part of it. So why would people, want to get involved with Primerica? Well, they have a job, they have a career, they have something going on. So why would they want to get involved with you and me? The real key is to recruiting someone is to get them to believe that you, okay, Michael, not Primerica, not your upline, but you can help them get and obtain what they really want. So now the unheard message here is, or the unstated message is, you got to find out what they want.
Right.
And Hector has always said, find out what they want and help them get it. Find out what they want and then help them get it. So the real key to recruiting someone is getting them to believe that you, not Primerica, not their RV, but you can help them get what they want. You recruit people. Now, here's the big power statement. You recruit people to the degree that you've convinced them that you can help them get what they want.
Mm.
So, Aaron, what you said and what Wayne said was absolutely correct. But your ability to recruit them is all about, have you convinced them that through Primerica, you can help them get what they want?
Right.
Yeah.
So the art of communication is strong here, isn't it?
Yes. Absolutely.
So again, if you kind of went back to this, every time you said in preparation for a football game or a basketball game or a soccer game, you said you're going to have mental preparation. Well, mental preparation, if you got a great recruit possibility, they're in the right market, they're young, they've got all the opportunity, or they're a seasoned senior and they're really looking for a different career. Whoever you're ready and geared in front of, you got to like, man, I got to do my very best at it. And even if it falls on its face, you're getting better every time at your art of communication and helping people find out And you know what? You might find out a lot of people don't even know what they want. But you can keep asking questions to dig down and peel back that onion. I've got another great presentation that's so visual about peeling back the onion. We'll do that another time. But you recruit people to the degree that you convince them, you help them get what they want. The goal of a good teacher, Teresa, right, is ultimately to make themselves unnecessary by teaching their students all they know. And isn't that really our business of duplication? Wayne, what you said last week was killer. Okay. And that's the heart of that, is teaching these other people how to do it.
That's right.
And figuring out that so the goal is the teachers ultimately make themselves unnecessary by teaching the students how. So how do you know if you're a good teacher then? Aaron, what would you say? How would you know if you're a good teacher?
That other people are able to pick up what you just taught and implement it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in Primerica, what would you say if somebody, you know you've come across, some people are taking it and run with it and the others don't, then it's not that you're not a good teacher. It's not that Primerica is not for you. It's just that people aren't good students.
Right.
Wow.
That can
Wow.
Right.
And that's where the numbers game ties in, right?
Right.
Lead a horse to water, can't make him drink, right?
Right.
So who do you know? How do you know if you're a good teacher? How do you stay after it long enough to build a big base shop? Well, your ability to stay engaged at a high level has everything to do with how how people feel about what they do. Hey, that's why I started off with some fun stuff this morning. Hey, this ain't all about algorithms and beta stuff and mutual funds and mortgage rates and golly, this is all about people.
Right.
That's right.
And your ability to stay engaged at a high level has everything to do with how you feel about what you do. And man, Rusty always made us feel great about what we do.
Yep.
And today we have the art of so many great things in terms of communication, of telling the war stories of the before and after. Some of you know I'm heavily involved with an organization called St. Paul's Outreach. It's a campus ministry, and so one of the things I'm working on right now is I'm leading I'm the head guy developing an app so we can connect the 15 states across the nation and have that engagement, right, of our organization. And so part of that is always hearing some of these missionaries' amazing success stories, the testimonials of how they're reaching people and making a difference. We're all inspired by that, aren't we?
Right.
Yep.
And so whether it's in your faith-based organization or whether it's in your work or your fun, everybody loves an inspiration. Okay, right? And
Right.
it's just fun to have that. And so you got to keep helping people feel great about what they do. So let me give you an example. So Ethan calls me, and Ethan has just had the worst day at work. His kids are puking, his dog, died last week, and he's just not having a good week. Okay. But the first thing he hears me say is, Ethan, you won't believe what happened this week. And I tell him a success story of, we found this family. They were like this, and then we did this. And Ethan needs that like he needs air.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm connecting with here. I hope you are connecting as well. Last couple slides. How you think about a thing determines how you feel about it. So how you feel about it determines how you act. And how you act determines the outcome of your results. So if you feel great about something, that was what my point was in my previous slide, is you got to feel great about what you're doing. And at Primerica, we always have something fun to look forward to. There's an inspiration on every social media outlet you could possibly ever get, including all through Primerica Online, etc. Isn't POL fun to open up? You never know what's going to be on the front page. How great is that? Every
Mhm.
race, creed, color, gender, age group is all over that thing all the time. It all makes me feel like, gee, even a guy that's a seasoned guy in the business, man, I can do this thing. Look at these. They're not better than me. And I go after it one more day. Isn't that something?
Mhm.
How can you help your teammates feel good about what they do? Wayne, would you give us an idea? How would you maybe approach that? How can you help your teammates feel good about what they do other than maybe what I've said?
Well, it's it's a how you feel business. Obviously, we know that. And
Yeah.
attitude, guys, if you've been around a while, I don't know how you could escape that. Attitude is everything. Our coach taught this from day one. And I used to think that was all about being just fun and happy all the time, even when you didn't feel like it, which, Art said that a million times. And that's part of it. But really, it's getting to know your folks. Some of you've heard the cliche that, anybody can quit on a boss, but very rarely people quit on a friend. And I think it's getting to know those people. That's what it comes down to. It's not about, hey, let's just cross the finish line and some production. You got to be there every step of the way. I think that's part of it. So it's a how you feel business. Hopefully I'm answering your question right on what you said there, Jim.
Yeah, very good. Aaron, anything you'd want to add?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with what Coach Wayne just said. I think posting daily testimonials, because when we can constantly see whether that's selling the dream of what, starting off this morning, when you started the morning off by selling the dream, right? As you're sharing that, I'm sitting there thinking of all the people that I want to help gift that experience to in my life. So that personal testimony every day, selling the dream. And then the other thing is the personal testimony of what we do that matters so much for clients. Because when people, just as Coach Wayne said last time, like if I'm ever having a moment or I'm in my feelings for a moment, right? All I do is I just get on here and I just crank up like what's coming, and I'm like fired up in 2 seconds. So the ability to post those daily testimonials as people are going through the grind, like it's not a grind. It's not a grind when somebody's in church and somebody's hurting and there's an altar call and you see all these people come together and pray for this person. You go, that's what this was for. That's why I showed up. That's what this is all about. Right. And so it's just those daily testimonials.
Yeah.
Very good.
Last one of the main reasons people never really get big is they don't really see themselves being great. And so that's one of the things that is important. And what we've just been talking about helps people believe that they can be great. Okay. And I'll close with one other thing that I forgot to share about the Kentucky Derby. And that is, so we had a great day at the Derby. Okay. There's more. Derby is just one race. There's other races that same day. And so we were bidding on all that stuff and learning how to bet and all that stuff. It's just a big party. And so we had our mint juleps, right? And but then as the day concluded, and we were ready to, but you and 120,000 people are going to go look for some place to eat, right? And so we just walked out of the Kentucky Derby there into the parking lot, and we had a stretch limousine waiting for us. We jumped in that, and he swept us off to a neighboring town where we had all the quiet time together as Primericans. And you should have seen us all with our derby hats and everything, tucking away into this limousine, and then just taking off for a nice quiet dinner without the crowds. Now that's living.